Hey sailors, welcome to the crew. I'm Sealor Janda and this is my Let's Play of Rule the Waves 3 as the USA. It's now the early 1900s. Our fleet is finally becoming a major rival to the European powers, which is fortunate because tensions with Germany and France are extremely high, and war could break out at any time. You know, ultimately when you come down to it, even 14 battleships is not going to be enough, especially if we're going to get rid of the Michigans. I'm only down one additional California-class battleship. I don't think we've had any... I mean, we've had a couple of breakthroughs in tech, but nothing like... where was... ship design. I mean, the main thing we've had, I think, is main battery wing turrets, and that's not... I'm not inclined to build a ship with main battery wing turrets that's not a Dreadnought. Like, not until I can at least build the actual Dreadnought design. 4 destroyers are commissioned. We've stolen this same ship's blueprints again. Control tops for national accuracy improvement. And 0 quality 7-inch guns. Okay, as long as we're considering war with these two, we should probably have some intel on them, although it's annoyingly expensive to get intel on countries, really. Suppose I should turn my intel on Japan down, huh? Okay, the rest of our destroyers are ready. Internal upheaval in Cameroon. Should we try to seize Cameroon as a colony? Honestly, no. I don't. I'd like to expand us in the Caribbean and the Pacific. I don't think getting into Africa is really the right course for the U.S. And Britain has snagged it. What a shocker. Improved signaling makes signaling errors less likely. Wasn't that... No, it was originally French, but they lost it to a rebellion a couple years ago for... No. It's originally German, right? And they lost it to a rebellion a couple years ago. And now Britain has snagged it. And so much for independence, folks. We have a budget surplus again, despite that brand new battleship I just ordered. We really are starting to catch up with the other great powers now. I mean, not Britain, obviously, but would you believe we've somehow come to have the world's second largest light cruiser fleet? I haven't even built a lot more, just the 4 Olympias, but everybody else is starting to commission their 1890, decommission their 1890 vintage ones, I think. Even though nobody has bloody well replaced any of them, so I don't know what the plan is. Our armored cruiser force is a little bit smaller than everybody's, but not by much. Not once these 2 new ones are finished either. I mean, it's really battleships. We got to get more battleships and more destroyers to compete with the great powers at this point. So... destroyer is probably the logical thing, actually. We are well short on them still, so we have 1 3-inch and 4 2-inch guns and make 26 knots. What can we... No, design... What can we design at 600 tons? Because we have that option now. Okay. With normal freeboard range and accommodation, we can stick on 4 3-inch guns, 2 centerline torpedo tubes, and we can make 28 knots. Now... Oh, but it's overweight. Well, it's a tiny, tiny bit overweight. I could take a couple of rounds out of the... Okay, I would have to take a lot of rounds out of that because this animal's very light, but not too worried about that. This is... that's the only issue it's got? Yeah. Okay, I quite like this design, actually. I mean, I see that it's effectively only got a 3-gun broadside, but 3-inch guns are better than 2-inch guns. For sure. I don't mind this design, but okay, remember those are the F and G turrets. I'm going to delete them real quick, and I'm just going to find out how many 2-inch guns. Okay, I could stick 4 2-inch guns on for about the same weight. Is that better, do we think, than 2 3-inch guns? Okay, they penetrate no armor. I don't think this actually changes the appearance of destroyer turrets, but never mind it. I think we'll stick with the 4 2-inch guns. Maybe I'm crazy. Or just wrong, but yeah, we'll design that class and we're going to lay down about another 10 to 20 of those, depending what we can afford. Yaroslav Mudry. Now that is a... But it's a big armored cruiser and a well-armored armored cruiser and a fast armored cruiser, but the total lack of guns heavier than 6 inches is a little weird. Oh, we've suffered a setback with 3 centerline turrets. That sucks, because I want 3 centerline turrets. Real bad, actually, and then we could build dreadnoughts. Okay, let's build just 10 of those Cummings-class destroyers right out the gate, please. The fleet really is beginning to come together. I'm quite pretty pleased with this. I should really just hit yes to all on that, but I keep maintaining the delusion that I'm finally going to go actually change something manually. Quality control, gradual improvement of armor quality, and 1% weight saving on armor. Oh, and improved turret design for 1% weight saving on turrets. 1% when you're talking a 10, 20,000 ton ship is pretty considerable over a while, over a certain period of time. How many? Jesus Christ, we have a lot of rear admirals. I mean, I do need to organize our divisions better, because we don't really have, you know, we have 2 and they're not really proper, but, I mean, I guess just for the sake of giving our rear admirals something to do, I can at least create the, 3rd battle division. I noticed that I called it BB divs before. It doesn't really make sense, but I'm going to do it anyway. We're going to add the Arizonas to that. Great. We do have, well, we really only have 2 battleship divisions, the Oklahomas and Arizonas. The Michigans do not count. And then the armored cruisers. I actually do have 2 divisions. I just never added the last Memphis to them. And then the San Diegos should probably be... Well, they make 22 knots alongside the Memphises. So I'm just going to assign them to the same division, I think. Maybe I should have more divisions, but I think that's fine. I literally don't know why these 2 aren't assigned to the 1st Light Cruiser Division. I think they were just built later, and I neglected it, but there you... Oh, 5 is the maximum. Okay, well... We'll figure out what to do with that later, then. U4 become... I called the last ones the Fleet Scout Division. I'll just call these Light Cruiser Division. I feel like maybe by now it's clear that they've moved beyond that original purpose. Okay. We're actually losing money every month, which is good because we have way too many funds just piled up doing nothing. 6 ships worked up. Oh my, Captain Vorse has been implicated in a scandal with copious amounts of champagne and an admiral's daughter. Yeah, let's just cashier him, because he's unassigned and we don't even know his quality, so we are losing nothing that I can actually notice by cashiering him. Basic weight control, so 1% weight saving on hulls, and oopsies. Better quality 0 9-inch guns is what that was. Okay. Those could be handy for large armored cruisers that we might build soonish. Okay, yeah, there's all these battleships are going to be slightly delayed while we put central firing on them. That's fine. Oh. Um, just because we're kind of close to a war, maybe, I'm going to say combat training is going to go ahead and take precedence in this case. Damn, we lost to the army in the football game. We'd better have a war soon, otherwise this will never be worth it. Oh, the Nationalist Party persuades Congress to authorize increased funding. Excellent. And fire control for Connecticut. Can we guarantee a victory over Germany if war should come? Our well-trained Navy will easily beat their collection of rusted old hulks. Steam turbines, considerable weight savings on machinery. Okay, we're real close to war with Germany now. Does that actually let me select the turbine option, or is that still not... Oh, this is sort of zeroed out. Oh, I can, I think. Otherwise, it wouldn't have auto-generated one like that. Yes, I can. Okay. Oh my god. I was just experimenting with the turbine thing, but it has generated its attempt at a Dreadnought. Technically, this is a Dreadnought. It's just so bad. I mean, little harsh of me. It's got low freeboard, short range, and cramped accommodation. You would need to fix all of those, really. Our Navy is too ocean-going to not, which leads us to being 1,100 tons overweight, even if I cut speed. And the belt armor is thinner than our current battleships. So that's... yeah. Well, the problem is it's being a Dreadnought with 8 guns to a side by having a total of 6 turrets, which is just madness. Anyway, I wasn't actually considering building that. That's horrifying. But we could sort of build a Dreadnought now. Sort of. We could build a... I don't know, a true semi-Dreadnought of sorts with, like, basically 6 guns to a side. I don't think we have cross-deck firing, so we couldn't get 8, but we could build, like, twin turrets fore and aft, and then wing turrets on either side, like that was. Maybe take 2 of the wing turrets out. Nobody has started building a Dreadnought yet. It would show up. It shows up as a separate column to battleships here when they do. Oh wait, I lied. Nobody has commissioned Dreadnoughts yet. It's only Britain doing it, but Britain has laid down Empress of India, Renown, and Benbow, due 1907, nearly 20,000 tons. I can't see the details of them, but those are Dreadnoughts. Or, in this timeline, I guess they're Empress of India's? It's a little wordy. I wonder if they might become known as Renowns, but they're building them. So hopefully no more pre-Dreadnought classes for us. Okay, everybody's building these armored cruisers that have thick belt armor, thicker than anything we have in existence ourselves. Decent speed, but no heavy guns, just a lot of medium-sized ones. Automatic range transmitter, gradual accuracy improvement. Struggling with 700-ton destroyers, that's fine, because we're still building our first 600-ton destroyers, and we don't have twin torpedo tubes, so we would kind of struggle to make use of them. Okay, so this is almost certainly Colorado and Wyoming are commissioned. These are surely going to be our last pre-Dreadnoughts. Oh, excellent. A major foreign policy crisis has erupted with Germany. What is my advice on how to handle the situation? They're still allied with Spain, right? Yep. And we're still allied with Japan, right? Yep. So, who's ready for the Anglo-Japanese versus German-Spanish, or the not Anglo, the American-Japanese versus... This doesn't work right in the way that they named wars at this time. It'd be the German-American War but with Japan and Spain involved. To be fair, the world at this time would probably just ignore Japan and Spain because nobody cares about them yet. Well, nobody ever will care about Spain, sorry, Spain, but Japan's going to become a major power pretty soon. This could be the war that makes them a major power in this universe. They already did fight Russia once, but they didn't really crush them in this world. They did it in like 1898, which is a little soon. Anyway, if war is to come, it might just as well come now. Mechanical shell handling for a national rate of fire improvement. Struggling with improved coastal submarines. There are rumors in Germany about war with us. Can't imagine why. Tension with Germany is 14. War can start anytime you're at like 10 plus. I'm going to push Intel down on everybody except for our predicted enemies here. Oh, we have a huge budget surplus again. It's because one of the battleships finished. Which does kind of leave an interesting conundrum, because I don't want to build more pre-Dreadnought battleships. I know we're very, very close to, like, soon we should invent 3 centerline turrets, and at that point we'd be a fool to build ships with 2 centerline turrets. New Mexico will be our last pre-Dreadnought. But we don't have them yet. We don't have an unlimited fleet of battleships. It's a good deal smaller than Germany's still, actually. Although they have a lot of these, like... Okay, that one's rebuilding. They do have a lot of these, like... This battleship has... Battleship... How do I have to hold my arms? Oh, it was on camera. Just a bit of lag. This battleship has 4 9-inch guns, which... is not... It's not a battleship. I talked about this in the special. This is an armored cruiser. And the same is true. I mean, a lot of their battleships are kind of undergunned, which is typical for Germany. But the 11-inch guns are one thing. 9 and 10-inch guns are very light for a battleship. Anyway, before I got onto Germany, I was basically saying, I don't want to build any more pre-Dreadnoughts, even if we are outnumbered. So what do we build? I think more armored cruisers or more destroyers wouldn't be a terrible idea. I mean, we're getting up there in terms of our destroyer fleet. I think armored cruisers are a good place we can still improve, although we're building 2 right now. But the Pittsburghs are a little older now. Oh, we're this close to war. I need to bloody well... You onto active fleet status. You guys up to reserve fleet status. You guys... You're working up. Oh, you guys are all on foreign stations still. Oh, God. Onto active fleet status. And make for the North American West Coast. And I see clearly that I only ordered one of you. All of you, please make for the North American West Coast. And then, how are we still okay? Well, because they're still overseas, but, yeah, these 2 Chicagos at least need to go onto foreign stations, probably. And then we'll see what the situation is there. Interesting. You can see, I think this is, yeah, ships are losing speed because of their age, which is a noticeable thing. I don't know if it did that in previous games, but that's quite interesting. We should probably do something about our pathetic Corvette fleet, but like it's just there to provide trade protection during wartime. I don't even really want it. It should really be mothballed, but the amount of money it's costing per turn is inconsequential. Anyway, okay, what else do we have? Technically, I should probably just set these to active fleet, but whatever. Okay, everything is mobilized. However, we should start... Okay, we can only do 2. Gunnery and damage control. Huge maintenance increase. That's going to take out most of our extra monthly budget. But I think the likelihood of war with Germany at any moment is so high that it's easily worth it because it takes 12 months to go into effect. I did hit yes on that, right? Yeah. Aside from that, battleships will have a very long lead time, and I don't want to build more pre-dreadnoughts. Germany is like almost flat out of light cruisers, but the three that they have are they have six really. They're building a new class. Well, they have three actually, and they're finally building a new class for the first time since the start of the game. It's interesting. Okay, the AI does kind of react to what you do, which is part of why probably everybody hasn't built so many light cruisers. Because I only built, a few more Chicagos immediately after over the course of the whole decade. And then just recently I put out these 4 Olympias. But all of their 10, 15-year-old starter light cruisers, they're now phasing out. The AI has left itself with really pretty meager, like, paltry fleets of light cruisers for the most part. Whereas I have refitted the Chicagos with better fire control and consider them to still be perfectly good because nobody else is building better light cruisers except Britain, but they are cheating with their budget. And the result is that our light cruiser fleet is now like just crushingly better than most people's because they're phasing all of theirs out. Anyway, the obvious thing to build is probably either destroyers or armored cruisers. I think I will, for now, lay down about another 10 destroyers. Oh, our budget's going to be hugely negative, isn't it? I don't think it took the training costs into account properly. Maybe it did. We'll see. War has to break out, like, momentarily, presumably. Connecticut is commissioned. Oh, we've stolen the blueprints for Spanish quality 0 guns. Nice. 3 centerline main turrets. Fantastic. Now, at that point, the question becomes, okay. All right, I'll address this in a second. What I was going to say is that the question, now that we have 3 centerline turrets, is do we hold out for 4 centerline turrets before we start building dreadnoughts? Because 4 centerline turrets is way more efficient than 3 centerline turrets plus like 2 wing turrets. Weight-wise, cost-wise. But if we don't get it in a timely fashion, then we'll drop behind everybody else. However, once we do get it, any battleships we built with the 3 centerline plus 2 wing will become kind of obsolete real fast. So that's the question. But that aside, let's address the obvious staring us in the face. It's May 1905. The US and Germany are now in a state of war. So, well, okay, we're not at war with Spain yet. However, they are still allied, so I assume we will be dragged into a war with them within a month or two. Presumably, we will also drag Japan into the war on our side, probably. Hopefully. So the situation... well, you know what? We'll go over the situation in detail at the start of the next episode. Thank you, everybody, for watching. This has been Sea Lord Janda's Let's Play of Rule the Waves 3. Next time, we will be fighting a war with Germany. And this one I really do intend to fight until... some Pacific targets, perhaps. Most importantly, when and if Spain joins the war, I want to get Cuba and Puerto Rico, but we'll fight this one out until we've done a lot of damage to Germany, unless the war goes terribly wrong for us, which I don't believe that it will. I really think that our fleet overall, although we do have 100,000 less tons than them, I do believe that our fleet overall is very capable of fighting Germany's now. That's interesting. We're very advanced. We were average before, like 5 years ago. Spain and Austria-Hungary are backward. All right, we'll go over the whole fleet situations at the start of the next episode. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Goodbye.